guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Board Game. The Game Show presents the interview, the WINterview. Forgot my own show name. The WINterview, the only interview you can win. Yes, you, or maybe you. Any of you potentially could. Over there, you might be able to. You might also be able to. In just a moment, we're going to begin our game. But before we do, let me tell you our prize. Tonight, the fine folks at Luma Imports, I hope I got that right. We'll talk about that in just a second, are providing a Similo prize pack of 3 games. If you were in the lower 48 states, or as I like to call it, the United States of America, get mad at me, Hawaiians and Alaskans. You are going to get that shipped right to you, and it's going to be wonderful. If you're in one of those other places, we'll talk, we'll work it all out. But first, let me introduce my guests. It is Andrew and Anitra from the Family Gamers.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you, Bruce?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing tonight?
We're good.
We're good.
We're surviving this whole pandemic thing. I'm knocking stuff over. It's a great week.
That's how it goes.
In bed. It's great.
The good news is that we're barely bolted to the rails here on the show. So if things are falling out a little bit, that's perfect. As long as this curtain is still gold, we're going to be okay.
All right.
Sounds
good.
So beyond that, I have to note, every time I have to say your name, Anitra, I get terrified.
You actually have been saying it right every single time. So
every time, I just because people that watch frequently, especially, might notice like the moment of panic. I take like a stutter step before I say it because I'm terrified I'm going to mess it up.
You open the show with saying your own show's name wrong. So if you make a mistake on Anitra's name one time, you get a free pass.
Well, I've done my best to try to establish this show as what I like to call just sort of professional, I guess. Let's take a look. We actually have our first person talk to us in the comments. Remember, wherever you are, say hey.
Hey.
Shred Demon. Saying hey, everybody. Hey, Shred Demon, what's up? I don't know if you're an actual demon. If you are, welcome. If not, cool name. So let's first of all talk, because we just said we don't have your actual names. We just have your title as the Family Gamers. So talk to me. We're here. Normally I credit myself on doing the interview that nobody does, where I'm going to talk about some weird thing, but we're going to do the interview anybody would do, which is explain the Family Gamers. How'd you get into it? What is it? How is it different? Explain to all these fine folks out here, all one of them, why they should listen.
Well, I'll let Anitra talk about what we do at the Family Gamers, but the how do we get into this thing? The answer is, in fact, my relentless badgering is how we got into this thing. I have been...
And sleep deprivation and an infant.
Okay.
You're welcome, Internet. You're welcome. That's how it went down. I've been doing amateur online media stuff for...
podcasting and stuff.
Too long. Probably like 10 to 15 years, something in that range.
More than a decade at this point, I think.
15 years. At that point, there wasn't even like established podcasts. It was like, at that point, you called it internet radio, and we all tried to load it onto our MP3 players. Mine looked like 2 packs of gum attached together.
I know. Let me put it like this. One of my first podcasts ever, I heard played on a Microsoft Zune.
That was a wrong time.
I think I have one of those somewhere, actually. That's because I got hooked in. I was like, oh, Microsoft's making it. Clearly, the Zune is the future.
Right, and this guy got a tattoo of the logo on his arm. It must be cool. Now it just holds a door open for you, but it's fine. It's fine. No, so I had been doing this for a long time, and scheduling got hard with the people that I was doing podcasts with and stuff.
And then you found different people to schedule with, and then it got hard with them.
And then eventually I was like, you know what? I live with this person. She can't get away from me. Hey, honey, we're going to do a podcast. And she said, no. Yeah. So that took 3 to 6 months, and eventually she said, "Fine, we'll do this. It'll fail, and then you won't ask me again." And here we are, 5.5 years later.
We had a 15-month-old baby and 2 older kids. Where I say older loosely, like not infants, but not very old. Right. And I was sleep deprived. This kid has not slept through the night for over a year, and I'm just like, I keep saying no, because he's like, oh, we're gonna do this podcast, and it's gonna be great because you and I have these great conversations. I'm like, no. And eventually I was like, you know what? Fine. We're gonna record like 3 or 4 episodes, Nobody's going to listen. It's going to be way too much work, and we're going to stop. And that was 5 years ago.
Wowzers. Oh, goodness. I'm going to do one thing real fast. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because I just want to introduce everybody to the game part of the WINterview, which we're going to start up in just a little while. If you're out there and you're watching, what you're going to need to do is figure out how the family gamers feel about just the stupidest stuff I could find. If you can match their answers, you can win a prize. Once again, tonight's prize from the fine folks at Luma Imports is Similo. If you want to get in, go on any web-based device. I would suggest like a phone or a tablet, but I'm not your dad. Do what you want. Whatever web-based thing you have. Go to crowd.live, enter the code XAPFN, Zapfin, but not with a Z, with an X, but Zapfin, but not with a Z.
Right. It's
XAPFN will get you in. We'll bring that up a couple more times, and I don't think this is the only time, but I at least wanted to let you know that the game portion of the game sits out there waiting for you. And now let's jump back. So 15-month-old, you're like, no, it'll go 4 episodes. No one will listen. We'll be done.
And it went 4 episodes, and then we changed the name.
Actually, it went 2 episodes.
It went 2 episodes before we changed the name?
Because, ridiculous. So originally it was A New Challenger Approaches, the official podcast of the Family Gamers.
And that sounds fantastic. I would love to listen to your Smash Brothers podcast.
Pretty much exactly. Well, what really was the problem was that there's a band called A New Challenger Approaches. And so that
and so we're just like, all right, well, we're already calling ourselves the Family Gamers. So when we use the Family Gamers podcast, it's fine. And on the one hand, that is fine. On the other hand, we have gotten confused for 3 other family podcasts that talk about board games.
Yeah. So there's
one that talks about video games.
There's Engage Family Gaming. They're good friends of ours, Steven Dutzman and the Engage Family Gaming crew. They're wonderful. But
Steven's awesome.
Yeah, and he's just a little bit less handsome than me. That's an ongoing feud. That's an ongoing thing.
Barely.
Barely, just a little bit. Then there's also One Board Family down in Georgia. Ryan and Aaron Gutowski. They're awesome. There's also the Board Game Family with Trent. I don't remember his last name, but very nice people as well. So yeah, it's just we get confused for everybody.
There's also Our Family Plays Games.
There is there are. Well, there.
Hopefully, we're not getting confused.
Yeah, we're not often getting confused for the Our Family Plays Games crew. Mick has way more charisma than I do. It's just.
Mick has way more charisma than I do, and I have
that's almost impossible. Yes. But so, what do we do with the family? Like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this thing? Why do you have this cool logo on your shirt?
I have a wrong side.
You showed up in the kit too. Nice.
I did.
Yeah. She's not messing around.
I haven't had anywhere else to wear this shirt. I might as well wear it for the WINterview.
Yes, that's true.
Nice.
But what we do, we talk about playing games as a family, leaning hard on playing games with your kids.
Okay.
Especially useful right now when you probably can't play games with your game group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been talking about this since our oldest was 8 and she's now 12. So we've kind of grown up through talking about, we still talk about playing games with really little kids where they're just learning the rules and, what are games that are not going to make you want to poke your eye out, like Candyland. It's one of the 2 games I literally refuse to play is Candyland.
What's the other one?
You want to guess? Hold on. Do you want to guess? This is your quiz show right now.
Okay. So I have to pick, there's 2 games that seem to separate all of the gamers on Earth where they put their line in the sand. 3. There's 3. I'm going to ask.
There's more, but it's okay.
I'd like to ask a question. Is this a mass market game or not so much?
It is a mass market game.
Monopoly.
No.
Okay, because my guesses are Monopoly, Flux, Munchkin. Those are the ones, if I have to knock out a least favorite game for somebody, those are the 3 arrows I'm firing.
That is definitely
mine
fair.
Is Munchkin. I won't play Munchkin. I won't play Munchkin, and I won't play Cards Against Humanity. Those are the 2 games that I just will not play.
I understand that. I understand both of them. Yeah, I get it.
I am not a huge fan of those 2 games, but no, the 2 games I refuse to play with our children are Candyland, which is no longer an issue, and Mall Madness.
Okay, so why Mall Madness? Mall Madness it's been a prize on the show. Mall Madness as a over 40-year-old male in this society as a wonderful game. What's wrong?
So before we dig in on Mall Madness, I'll close the book on Candyland, which is we literally burned our copy in effigy.
Wow! So you didn't have the copy in the tin with the plastic Candymen?
No.
Well, we did have plastic Candymen. We didn't burn them.
We took the plastic ends off.
Okay.
And we burned it in our fire pit in effigy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bold.
I really hate Candyland.
Really doesn't like
I can appreciate its place in teaching kids how to play games.
Yep.
And I actually
we're
said
past that, so why torture ourselves?
I actually said that in a blog post I wrote about it, which is called "Why I Hate Candyland."
Okay.
There are good points to it, but I still hate it. But Mall Madness is kind of in the same vein for me. Like, I understand other people like it and enjoy it. I have no problem with my children playing it among themselves.
Okay.
But we have the littlest pet shop version. So not only does it make all the sounds of like, there's a sale at the, clothing store.
Which is delightful.
And all of those things. And sorry, you'll need to come back again later. But it also makes little animal noises for each person's turn. So there's a little like woofing dog and a little cat meow and a bird. And oh my goodness, those animal noises are going to drive me insane. And I can just barely manage to tune out if I am not the one playing the game.
This is making me want to play Mall Madness.
I was going to say, so like, I hear what you're saying, and I can tell by the tone that clearly it makes you upset. And I don't want that, but all you're doing is selling it more to me.
That's fine. Like I said, I have no problem with other people playing this game. I just refuse to ever play it again. It also, I have to sit in this weird place as a parent. It was our daughter's first ever purchase with her own money. She found it at our local kids consignment store, which is no more, and bought it with her own money.
Great taste.
With all the pieces there, like, and we found out which pieces were missing because, of course, pieces were missing, but not enough to stop playing the game.
No, because bark.
So not only, like, even when our daughter grows out of it, it's going to be that one thing that she schleps from various location to various because she'll never get it all. Yeah. She
has successfully talked teenage boys into playing it with her, which they must really be good friends, is all I'm going to say.
Or maybe they understand what a fantastic game it is.
I bet Trevor would play this game.
I'm sure Trevor would play this game.
Trevor definitely would. And I'll tell you, one I'm trying to find out there that I've only just heard amazing things about is Dream Date with the phone.
Mm-hmm. I actually remember the commercials from that game.
Yep. Remember when board games had TV commercials? Like actual board games had actual TV commercials?
Don't wake Daddy. Yeah, I do.
Pretty sneaky, sis. I'm excited that that's coming back again. I see some of the hipper companies are starting to bring that back because of YouTube commercials where you can brainwash children into buying your cat games. But I've decided I'm pro. I've decided I'm on the side of cat pinball.
Well, once Amazon got onto we're going to send a catalog full of the stuff that your children want to your house, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Train, they picked up right where Toys R Us left off.
Man, they are evil.
I intercepted it and threw it away this year. I'm so excited.
I didn't even see it.
I know.
Some comments coming in.
With our 12-year-old.
Shred Demon, super pro Mall Madness.
Yeah, we know, Nick. We know you're pro Mall Madness.
You can be pro Mall Madness. That's fine.
And wants to chip in to get you the new edition, which here's the good thing about the new edition that I think you might tolerate. I don't think it makes any noises at all. Chris did not mention any of the noises. I don't think it does that. I'm not 100% sure, though. Maybe it does it with like a phone app now.
I mean, that's probably why they go here.
Chris Funk, I think I have the phone from Dream Date if you want it. So here's what I'll say. Yes. If it's got a whole game to it, I'm in. If it's just the phone, I might put it in a shadow box. Because I do own the shirt that like someone made a shirt that looks like a tattoo where it says, I really want you. And people look at it and it's a pink telephone, but no one thinks that when they see it on my shirt. And I'm just as okay with it being confused. People are like, is that what I think on your shirt? And I'm like, do you think it's the phone from Mall Madness? And they're like, or the phone from Dream Date? They're like, no, I didn't think that. I'm like, okay then. And I walk away.
Perfect.
I like it.
Chris Goodlett here. Hey, Charity Gamer, welcome. One quick thing to mention as the Charity Gamer has arrived is that this year, as I have for the past 6 years, I think this is the 7th year doing it, I will be doing Extra Life again. And I stream now. It's a thing I do. You're here. You see it.
This is what we're doing right now.
Exactly. I'm going to be doing 24 hours of gaming. A lot of it is going to be streamed, but not all of it, because sometimes I don't want to look at a camera. But what I am offering is, and I'll put everything up next week, in 2 weeks, because next week I have a private function. If you want me to host one of many game shows for you and your group that's probably also doing Extra Life, for a donation, I will host one of many game show type games, which I hope would be a cool thing people want to do. I'm also at some point during the day going to be doing a big trivia game for prizes and a bingo game for prizes, which whatever donation you give that helps out, it's wonderful. So all kinds of things we're going to be doing with that. Check out all the social media. We'll put all of that up. And if you're out there and you think, Bruce, I'd like to play games with you, let me know. We're going to need people to play games. And if you're thinking, hey, Bruce, I want you to run a quasi game show for my game group for $60 to my Extra Life, I will gladly do that. Chris noting, hey, power just came back on.
That's fueled by Bruce, obviously.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can here. And of course, for the kids.
For the kids.
Always for the kids.
Always for the kids.
So speaking of for the kids, we're talking about your show and games you play with kids. So you're saying that like over time, because your kids have gotten older, kind of the games you're covering, I assume, have changed quite a bit.
Yes, we are leaning more now towards adulty-ish, light adulty games and what are typically known as family games.
Yep.
We have covered a lot of kids games in the past, and we do still have one reviewer who writes for us who has a 3-year-old. So we still get a few of those up. But since our youngest is starting to read, it's getting harder for me to say, hey, this is a game you can play with your kids if they're not reading, because it's harder for me to judge that as we don't have anybody anymore.
Right. But like one of the big things that's super important for us, this is a little bit of a sneak peek for anybody who listens to the Family Gamers podcast. You head over to Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcasts to subscribe. Next week's show, we have Helena and Josh Capel from Kids Table Board Gaming on the show.
Nice.
And one of the things we talk about with them is that they always want their games to be games that you as adults can play with kids, but they're not kids games. There are games that kids can play with kids. There are games that adults can play with kids. There are games that adults can play with adults, right? And that's really kind of our sweet spot right now, is finding those games and figuring out what it is that we can recommend and point to and say, this is a great game for this kind of skill building, because every game is educational. I actually recommend against getting educational games because usually they're terrible. But every game has something that you can learn in it. Right. And sometimes those things that you learn on the very, very simple level are things like, this is what taking a turn is like. And you have to wait, and you can't just spam the board and do whatever you want to do. You have to wait and take your turn. And then you can get into things with like Cloaked Cats, which is a recent Haba release, which has been really, really popular. It's a very simple deduction game. So a bunch of adults can get together. I know Chris, Charity Board Gamer, is paying attention to the stream. He has been hosting a whole bunch of Cloaked Cats. A bunch of adults can get together and play this game, and it's a riot. Bye, Chris. It's a riot, but adults can play it, and yet it's still accessible to kids. And so that's one of the things that we really try to capture with the Family Gamers is, what are the games that you can put on your shelf? We've got a big shelf. Not everybody has a big shelf, but what games can you put on your shelf that you can take down when your adult friends come over, or you can take down when, it's after dinner, you miraculously don't have plans that night, or you're in the middle of a global pandemic.
That'll do it.
Game. Yeah. I mean, it does. It does. So that's really what we try to focus on a lot.
Well, I will
finding in those games. And speaking of
I will give a quick shout out to the sponsor of tonight's WINterview.
Nice.
The Similo games are awesome for this, because it's that you can play just as a group of adults. It's a co-op game where one person is giving clues and everybody else is trying to guess which character the clues are leading them to out of all the cards. But you can still play with kids and have just as much fun. They can figure it out based on, the colors that are present in the cards and what people's poses and faces are like. And in the Fables version in particular, we've done a lot of narrowing down of like male, female, or other, which is like animals and, genie and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Basically, to try to capture what Similo is very simply, imagine if you took code names and made it entirely cooperative instead of having two teams, and even more simple.
Nice.
And that's Similo. It's a game that I literally do not think I have ever sat down and played that game with anyone who has not said, this game is awesome, where can I buy it?
Or can we play it again?
Yeah.
I know I am about to pick up a copy. Of at least, I think right now on Amazon, if you're out there, the Myths and Legends one is like $7.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
The other should be 10 or under.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And that Similo prize pack donated by Luma Imports is all three. So it is Similo Fables, Similo History, and Similo Myths. So big thanks to Luma for doing that this week.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Because, largely, you two were like, hey, Bruce, is it your usual $5 budget for tonight's game? And I was like, yes, it is. And you said, we think we know somebody that might want to help you out on the show. So once again, a huge thank you for the prize package. And while we're talking about that, let me bring up all the information again. We'll get to the game in just a couple of minutes, so don't worry out there. But if you want to play, go to any web-based device. I would say probably use your phone. That's going to be the easiest, or if you have a tablet out there. But once again, if you want to open up another window, I'm not here to stop you. It's just going to make things a little more difficult for you. Go to crowd.live, enter the code XAPFN, Zapfin, but not with a Z or a Z if you're British.
Zapfin.
Zapfin.
It's like a prescription drug.
Like it should have a lot of side effects.
Yes, it does.
XAPFN is how you get in. I will tell you, looking at the game numbers, we have one person that will be going through the motions and getting this amazing prize pack. So if you're out there, this is the time to jump in and get in on this. We will come back to it in just a minute, let you know the code. But once again, go to crowd.live, enter the code XAPFN. I think in hindsight, when we look at this, I'm going to realize that trying to go toe-to-toe against the U.S. presidential debates was maybe not the smartest idea as a television programmer.
I would much rather be doing this.
I mean, this is 1,000,000% better.
I mean, also we voted early, so who cares at this point?
As did I, but I just have a strange feeling that looking at the numbers on this one, maybe as I look back, when I go back through all the numbers on the shows, I'll say, maybe I couldn't beat the presidential debate.
Yeah,
really?
Maybe. I mean,
you don't say.
I could summarize the debate in 5 minutes. I realize it's not over, but I could still summarize it in 5 minutes.
I feel like that seems very easy, and I'm going to assume that you could.
Yeah.
Based on things we talked about, I have 2 questions I want to fire off. Wait a minute. Okay, Chris is also in here. Agreed. And we're way more fun.
Yeah. We actually already voted too, so that's why we don't need to watch it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to ask is, because you hate Candyland, and anytime someone hates Candyland, I always ask about this game. Have you encountered the one that I think it was Smirk and Dagger did, where it's Candyland, but you're beating each other half to death?
Roll for Your Life, Candyland?
Roll for Your Life, Candyman.
Run for Your Life, Candyman was the first one, and now it's Roll for Your Life.
Yes. Okay. I haven't played Run for Your Life, Candyman, but we actually have a review for Roll for Your Life, Candyman on our website.
Right. Nice. We do. We were actually good friends with the designer of that game. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Because I would say that one, Run for Your Life, Candyman, is a game I own. I like it enough because it's so silly. Mm-hmm. Also, Shooting Ladders.
Yeah, I'm honestly, so I played Shoots and Ladders a lot as a kid. I don't hate it like I hate Candyland, but I would not recommend it as a game to play with little kids because the serpentine board is really, really confusing for little kids who are still trying to learn their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes too long.
And adults that are trying to learn their numbers. And I'll tell you, because it's starting.
I mean, the serpentine board confuses me too, but I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'll play the fool. I can't do it. And often people are like, Bruce, you can't go there. I'm like, why can't I go there? It's the next space. They're like, count, you idiot. And then it's the whole thing. And it always feels bad going down that giant slide.
Yeah.
It's never a good, you're like, how about I just don't play this anymore?
Right. It's like, okay, going up ladders is arduous and boring, and sliding down slides is fun and exciting. And this game flips both of those on their head.
It flips it and just makes every part of it bad.
Yeah, also the game is bad. I mean, let's not forget the part where this game is bad and you should feel bad.
The game's, but I would say shooting ladders, if you're out there, is the version they made with the Candyman, and it is a first-person shooter where you're doing capture the flag and setting up weapons and stuff.
Okay.
I would say if you're out there and you're near a copy of it, it's worth your time at like a convention to check it out for just a second.
All right, fair enough.
And then one more, we were talking about educational games for a second. So I'm going to leave the world of like kids' educational games because I think you're 100,000,000% correct about that. If a game tells you it's oh so educational, that is 99 times out of 100. That means it's not really a game. It's a set of flashcards.
Yeah, it's like alert, run. Yeah.
There are a couple of those that work out okay, but generally speaking, they're usually not good.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked for North Star, that was one of the things we fought constantly, was trying to, because we were like, no, we're educational in a way of some other games I actually want to talk about with you. We're like, you're going to learn stuff, but it really is a game, we promise. It's not an educational tool. And then like teachers would say like, no, we use it in classrooms. And we're like, that's awesome. If you could, when you tell people about it, remind them that it is not an educational game. Right. And then
it is a game.
No, you don't understand how much you can learn. And we're like, no, we totally get how much you can learn. So then as an adult, I believe there are some games that are sort of educational and geared to adults. So we're talking about like, I would say 1960 Making of a President, Twilight Struggle. I'm trying to look on my shelves because I have Founding Fathers is another one. Watergate, I've heard the same thing about. I just haven't had a chance to play it. How do you feel about these? Do you think it's the same problem, or do you think once you get to these
I think they're great. I think they're great. Like Tesla versus Edison.
Yep.
Fantastic. I think World's Fair 1893, absolutely fantastic.
Well, World's Fair 1893, you can play without learning anything.
Yeah, but if you read the flavor text on the cards, you're going to learn something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can play it as with pretty colors.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that any game, pretty much my criteria is any game that's out there where you learning something is coupled with, but not necessarily dependent on your ability to play the game, or vice versa. That's where you want to be.
Oh, definitely.
Because there's always downtime in a game, right? And during downtime, if the game has something that keeps you interested, like flavor text, like extra facts, like random stuff, Pan Am is another example of this.
Which you can see back there.
Which you can see back there. That is a sign of a game that has done it right, because you're not picking this up instead. You know, you're engaged in the process of playing the game, even if it's just internalizing what's on the cards that are in front of you.
And so you and I have talked about Pan Am in the past when I was on your show. I don't remember how much actually made it to the show, because as I listened through the episode, a lot of stuff got cut because you're reasonable. And it was like a 4-hour show.
Not a lot of stuff. Some stuff got cut.
But at one point we were talking, and I'm only sharing this with you because I meant to share this with you before we started running, and we're here now. As we talked about that, Pan Am has technically two setups. You can start in two different places. You can either start in Miami or I think Paris. And Rome. We were talking about.
I think it's Rome.
Is it Rome?
No. Maybe it is Paris.
It's somewhere in Europe.
It's up there. It's up there.
It's up there. And we were talking about, is it thematic? Is it balanced? So I have since watched a documentary about Pan Am. Okay. And it was based out of Miami. That is the storyline version. Yeah. And the other is the more balanced version. And I think you knew that. And I was unconvinced. Because I was like, it seems so European to me. And you were like, Pan Am, Bruce? That seems okay. Cool.
Pan-American.
Yeah, you're like Pan-American. You figure started in Europe. I'm like, I don't know, man.
No, I knew they started in Florida. So
yeah, I think Key West technically, but they shifted that up to
Miami.
Yeah,
exactly. They shifted up to Miami because that's a city you know and/or care about.
Mm-hmm. Although we've been to Key West, we went there on a honeymoon. It was very nice.
You did too. So did we.
Yeah. Well, we were on a cruise and we stopped there.
We went on a cruise because it was cheap and warm.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I bought art in Key West. It's still hanging on the wall upstairs 16 years later.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
I know. It's great.
Next week.
Nice. Oh, well, early congrats. I thought I was just congratulating the number because I could hear the tone. But hearing it's actually a week away. Early congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do, but once you get to 16 is not a fun number. It's a fun number when you're a person because you get to drive, but like, a marriage license doesn't get a driver's license. So like,
no,
it's not that exciting.
We'll do something without children and remember what it was like back before there were children.
Well, what is the 16th? What is the stupid, like I
have no idea.
They tell you?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up while we talk about the next topic.
While we talk about other things.
Because that's one of the things my wife and I do is every year we look at it and try to do something that's thematic, but usually not. I want to say 10 was like, it's always either something extravagantly expensive or dirt cheap. It'll be like, oh, it's
all
the
I really know is, all I really know is one is like paper.
Yeah. I think like some of them are like, it's either a submarine sandwich or a Fabergé egg.
I know.
Like, what? There's no middle ground between Fabergé egg and a submarine sandwich? Like, well, it's the 35th, Bruce. That's what you have to do. Right.
Well, so this random internet website says that the modern gift is silver hollowware.
I don't even know what that is.
And the gemstone paradox.
Oh, hollowware. Would that be like vases and stuff like that?
Serving dishes such as a sugar and creamer set, teapot, covered casserole dish, anything that is concave or hollow in which you would serve food.
I don't want any of those things in silver.
Hollowware. I heard it as hollowware. I was like, that has to be like a baseball card, right? Like that's a 1990s baseball card.
Yeah.
Comic book cover.
That's funny.
One quick note coming in through the comments. Bruce, when you were on the Family Gamer Show, I never thought I'd learn so much about minor league baseball knowledge that I never wanted to know. It's like being around me.
I mean, I loved every single second of it.
We know.
Yeah, some people do. That's one of the things I try to do with my sports show is bring in all the game nerds that don't understand why a human being would care about baseball but not care at all about baseball. That's a thing.
I don't care about baseball, but I understand why other people care about baseball. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable. But we've covered that on your show, so there's no need to cover it here.
Okay, apparently the traditional gift for the 16th wedding anniversary is wax.
All right,
there you go.
Candles it is.
Candles it is. I can do candles.
Silver hollowware or candles.
Yeah, whatever.
Or wax.
Apparently, the recommended gift for him is a cocktail shaker because it is silver and hollow.
Yeah, fair.
I
think you're getting leftover Hanukkah candles.
She's gonna throw them at me. Go back to work. Go back to work.
Well, I buy them in a box of 60, and we don't use 60 in a year. So
no.
Then they sit not in the attic. I learned my lesson. Don't put the candles in the attic because they melt.
Oh my word!
But they sit in a box in our pantry until the next December.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apparently wax. Yeah, apparently wax.
Who knew?
Take a look at the gifts because they are always just, and I'll go so far as to say stupid, no matter which way you go. It's like gift cards or leather. And you're like, oh, so I got a couple options on those, but I guess I'll get you a gift card.
Yeah, I mean, look, my option for Anitra on wax is going to get me slapped. So,
no comment.
Let's see. Golf, I don't get as a spectator sport anyway. I agree. I'm actually a big bowling fan. I can watch a lot. And I know you bowl.
I do.
He does. He's got like 9 bowling balls.
Okay. So I actually want to know if this is a thing. This is Bruce needing to know if Bruce is crazy. Are there any bowling balls you have that just sit around because like you just can't get rid of them? It's not that they're in rotation. You don't use them. There's just like some sentimental attachment and you just can't get rid of it.
Yes. There's one right on the other side of this desk that I know for a fact he has not used for years.
There's actually 2, but one of them is the first ball I bought when I came back to bowling after like 15 years off bowling.
Okay.
So probably that one's not going anywhere. It's on a little stand. Hold on.
Everything you ever wanted to know about Andrew and Anitra Smith. Everything you never wanted to know. There it is.
This is the interview we're doing. Nice.
Still smells like blueberries.
Yeah,
oh, nice. That was one of the
smells like artificial blueberries. Yep.
Nice.
He used to keep it in his car, and then I would get in his car and be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so Storm Bowling makes they sent their bowling balls. Why? Yep. I do not know. I don't know. But it was like it was weird.
It's another way to tell them apart, maybe.
No, I don't know. Who knows? So the smell of that ball is technically blueberry muffin, and they've since recycled that smell.
Sure.
So I don't know.
So it's not even that it's using that ball. Unique odor.
Well, I mean, they recycled it like 5 years later.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I can't knock him for that because I still have one. I've cracked it 3 times, but it was a Sugar Ray Leonard bowling ball with a boxing glove in the center of it.
Okay, sure.
And finally, the guy who repairs it was like, "Here's the deal, Bruce. You got one more break, and then this thing's gonna break in half. And if you're lucky, the center weight that looks like a boxing glove will half roll back to you." And I don't have the heart to just throw it away because I've played with it for like 11 years.
I get it. So interesting fact about bowling balls. So the weight inside a bowling ball is not evenly distributed. That's to affect the roll. So you actually should rotate your bowling balls if they're in storage for exactly that reason.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I knew the weight was uneven, but
yeah, there's a dot on the ball that's called the pin.
Yeah.
I have a demonstration.
Bowling lesson.
See that?
Yeah.
Right
green dot.
Yeah, that right there. Put that down.
Okay. I have like 4 bowling balls upstairs. I'll go do that with as soon as we're done here.
Yeah. So that pin is how they suspend the weight when they cast the ball around the weight.
Okay.
And then they cut it off. So if you put that down, then
it's sitting symmetrically on
symmetric, about as good as you're going to get. So.
Okay. Wow. Well, so I would tie that in to say I can watch bowling because I bowl. The same way I can watch poker because I played poker. Beyond that, I never, for the life of me, have ever understood how that became such a spectator sport because it's like watching, especially back in the day before it really got hot, like watching 8 fat bears hibernating around a felt table.
I mean, you say that. That's really an interesting point. Like, there's not a whole lot that's interesting about the act of playing poker.
No. It's just watching people like a game show, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, there's something about having absolutely no comprehension for a sport and being able to appreciate the elegance of athletes performing in a way that you can't even comprehend. Yeah. And then you start to do it and you're like, oh, I'm terrible. Like casual bowlers. And they're like, oh, this is terrible. Like, why would I watch this? This is like, it's a fun thing to go out and drink beers and eat bad pizza, but like there's no sport here. And then you get past that and into the, I'm actually trying to do well at this. And all of a sudden now you like to watch them do it again.
Oh, because all of a sudden you learn the physics game they're actually playing.
Yeah, you watch a guy throw a ball and you're like, holy crap, did you see that thing that he did? And he's just like, he threw a ball.
I'm like, he missed the pin. I know what that's called. That's a split.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, one of the things that I think was brilliant that they've done, if you're out there and you're like, I might watch some bowling, you shouldn't, but I'll tell you, is they've dyed the lane oil blue in a lot of tournaments. So now you actually understand what folks are doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna
he's gonna extra nerd out for a second.
I'm gonna take a step back.
Okay.
So the PBA has, first of all, PBA is now on Fox. They signed a deal with Fox where you can actually watch bowling on Fox now.
Oh, nice.
They've introduced something called the PBA League, which is instead of watching 2 dudes bowl against each other, it's teams of 4 bowling against each other. And they're bowling in what's called, it's usually Baker format, which means that like you're going to bowl the first frame and like the 6th frame and maybe the 10th frame.
Yeah.
But the next guy's going to bowl the 2nd frame and the 7th frame.
Yeah.
So it's not the same dude bowling for 10 frames.
Yeah. So it's like a baseball lineup.
It's like a lineup. And I mean, and you're not doing the whole thing where it's like you've got, the cleanup hitter and there's strategic elements in putting people in certain places, except for maybe the anchor in the 10th frame kind of thing. But so you get a lot more of that team thing where the guy throws the ball and everybody's screaming and they're injecting a lot more energy into the sport of bowling than they used to. Because before it was like, if you make a noise, some PBA ninja is going to drop out of the ceiling and garrote you, right?
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. Like the second the ball hits the lane, everybody is screaming. And it's so much more fun to watch.
I went to one live bowling event.
I kind of hate you for that because I have not, and I would love to.
So it was on Easter Day, and it happened to be I was every year because I don't like if you're like this any kind of sport is like especially or any kind of event. If you're out there and you do not understand what we're talking about, there's probably around you somewhere like a yearly thing that comes up. If you're near Baltimore, there's something called Artscape. It's one of the biggest art shows. It takes up half of Baltimore, and like major touring acts show up and play for free. You can see like Aretha Franklin for free. And it's one of those things where like sometimes you go, oh, that was last weekend. And for me, this particular bowling tournament is like 11 miles away from my house. And every year I'm like, I should go. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to the thing. And it was a random hot Easter. Almost no one was there. I got to sit in the front row. And for those of you that know bowling, Pete Weber won it.
What?
And at this point, this was years. Pete Weber had won, coked himself out, got himself back in recovery, and was into his second run of coking himself out at this point. So he's like doing crotch chops like DX and stuff. Like it made no sense. And you could tell this was a Pete Weber that had been fined a lot of money for just being a jerk. And
was he wearing sunglasses? Was he wearing sunglasses?
Yo, on his head sometimes. Afterwards, I actually got both of the top runners to sign my ticket.
That's so amazing.
Waiting for Pete Weber to sign my ticket was one of the most hilarious things because he's like a million miles a minute and looking around and talking to people. I can't believe it, but I knew he was going to lose, but I got it. Don't tell him I said that. He's probably a pretty decent guy, but I know I destroyed him. Oh, what's going on over here? Do they have my check? Not the big one, the one I can put in the bank. Like, and all of this is happening with like 12 fans like standing there. So it was just amazing. Let's take a look at a couple of comments that have come in. Hey, Frank, very happy it's a show and tell. So am I. This is exactly the interview we didn't expect that we're getting.
I mean, listen, you want me to? There you go. Yep, and I guarantee you that ball is made by Storm.
Oh, there's no way it's not.
Do you want me to get the epic like mic drop bowling ball for show and tell? Do you want me to go grab it? I'll have to go into the other room, but I'll grab it.
Yes, I do. Because you wanted this moment. I'm going to go through some more comments while you're doing it. I'm going to give you your moment. Yeah, people do huff bowling balls, Chris. That's a real thing. How do you rotate a bowling ball? The same way you'd rotate any other ball. I think you just turn it. I hope that's what it is because I don't.
I want to be snarky and be like by throwing it down the lane, but no. I have picked up enough by being married to Andrew to know that it's like anything else that is going to be sitting around for a long time, like bike tires. If you're not going to be riding a bike for years and years and years, you're going to want to, every 6 months or a year, go in there and like give it a quarter turn or a half turn so that you don't get a flat spot. A bowling ball can very gradually settle over time, and the weight distribution will be wonky and weird if it has enough time to settle.
Yeah, the snarky response is you simply pick it up and rotate it and put it down.
You turn it.
Are you ready, Bruce?
A couple more things. We have a couple more comments.
All right.
And also to help all of you out there, if you're not driving your car will do that too. Like make sure if the pandemic has gotten you to a point where you literally do not leave the house, which for some people I think is very prudent. Make sure every so often you either move the car a little bit or like just go on one trip around the block and come back in because it will do that to your tires as well. Let me get a couple more comments in here. Nick showing up. We talked about you earlier. It was wonderful because you are amazingly charismatic, and we were talking about. I'm now amping myself up, trying to get there like the Ultimate Warrior. Chris Funkman cage match 4v4 bowling next on Fox, right after SmackDown on Friday nights.
I even know the bowlers I would draft.
It's like Saturday afternoon or something, but
that's fine. No, It actually is SmackDown on Friday night, so I at least could tie that in to being a wrestling nerd. But there's stuff going on in bowling. It can be real interesting because there's such a seedy underbelly of old school gambling in bowling that little bit of that is still kind of hanging around. It's the same thing with pool. ESPN did everything in their power in like the late 90s, early 2000s to make billiards as legit as they could, and it still never quite worked. It was
Remember
like
the Black Widow? I would watch every match of hers that I could.
Oh my God!
If she was shooting, I'm like,
Oh,
stop.
Jeanette Lee.
Yes,
I went to a thing. I have a pinball back glass to Sharky's Shootout signed by Jeanette Lee because I met her. Karen Corr, who, if you've ever seen Karen Corr, she looks like Harry Potter. I was walking across the thing and almost knocked her out. I didn't see her because Karen Corr is all of 4'11", and I walked into her and almost knocked her over and had to like grab her and keep her from hitting the ground. It's a whole thing. Yeah. But they tried so hard to make it like a legit sport and get like, because it is a legit game, definitely. I'm not going to debate sport here, but like there's that seedy underground of gambling that you cannot unravel from bowling or from pool more so than bowling. One call from Chris Brown said, or just sell the bike, don't rotate the tires.
You could, yeah.
Just sell the bike.
Or you just buy new tires if, for example, you picked up this bike on the side of the road, maybe.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, not that I did that at the beginning of the pandemic.
We're teaching Mick and things. Mick's learning new stuff. That's what we're here for. Chris knows he loves Mick. Everybody loves Mick. Hey, Chris, welcome back.
Chris is back. Couldn't stay away.
Hooray!
Chris lost the misses in Sushi Go by a point. I'm sorry. Which setup? Which like weird setup? Because if you have
Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party or there's a lot of options there.
You're gonna have to tell us, Chris.
Yeah.
Shred Demon just giving us the horns. A note that chess boxing is fun to watch. That is sure a thing. I feel like either of the Klitschko brothers could own it if they wanted to. And they've just decided all the other chess boxers need to thank whoever you worship that the Klitschko brothers went to real boxing and not chess boxing. And then just everybody saying hi to each other.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Aww.
You guys are great. So let's see,
Andrew.
Let's see the bowling ball.
Throw off the ball.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, brainstem and all. See that? This is a good talking point for the kids.
Yep. Who makes that one?
Storm, just like all the scented ones.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
Well, if you pull it back up.
Right there.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I can see it.
Storm.
The one I had of the boxing glove was not dissimilar.
Right. Yep.
Very.
So this is the I'm about to replace this. So I'm glad I got to get it on video one more time.
Giant eyeball?
No, the next one's not made of whatever this is.
Really? Because I assume that is your spare ball.
It is, in fact, my spare ball, yes.
So I assume that it's just any garbage plastic ball. The one I have is just, it's just gold. It's just gold and sparkly. And all the rest of my balls are pink and black and were specifically marketed to women.
That's fine.
Where it's like this is the diva. And I was like,
yeah, the DVA diva.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take all the divas. And they were like, okay. Diva's a bad ball.
It's pretty good. It's made by Brunswick. It's a one. DV8 is one of the Brunswick brands. Yep. There's the Diva Pearl. I don't remember. I never got the Divas, so whatever.
Yeah, I forget which one, but it's whatever the one where there was like the Diva Punk.
Well, that's kind of DV8's brand strategy. They're all like I have a DV8 ball called the DV8 Freak Show. Like it's just kind of their angle. Yeah.
You've lost me again. Sorry.
No, I understand. We're coming back now. We're back. I'm sorry. We had our moment.
It's all right.
You know what? I mean, Bruce, if we ever hang out at a convention for more than 5 minutes, the world might explode because
you're just going to start talking bowling
and
forget the board games.
I literally could talk about bowling for hours because there's so much more to the sport than people realize. But I'm not going to do that.
You're going to stop now.
I'm going to stop. I'm
done. Is you and I'll do like Vegas and just leave the convention.
Possibly.
Like, hey, does anybody else? I tried at one point and I was hoping I could work it out. I was going to buy like 25 tickets to an independent wrestling show and pull every person I could get from board games to a wrestling show up the street from PAX Unplugged.
Yeah, why not?
I was like, it's Philadelphia. It's a thing that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
once went. All I can say about wrestling is, for those who know WWE, I went to high school with Brody Lee.
Oh, wow. He is now in AEW.
He's now in AEW. Yes. And I also went to high school with one of the guys that runs AEW.
Nice.
Who's, they know each other.
Yes, so my high school friends put together this, fake pro wrestling high school league.
As you do.
And everybody thought they were losers, and now they're running AEW wrestling.
I mean, some of them were losers. No offense meant, but no, the guy who went on and got a degree in economics is now helping to run the AEW. And one guy went on and became Brody Lee and actually has made a career in pro wrestling.
So let's take a look. Sushi, I'm just going to take care of some more comments. Sushi Go Party. I want to play Sushi Roll. Sushi Roll is a lot of fun.
It is a great game. Yep.
Chris, if we can ever meet you in person, we will play Sushi Roll with you.
Yep.
I like it enough. I've almost bought the Board Game Geek pieces for it.
Oh, wow.
I haven't gone quite that far. Because I still look at it. I'm like, oh, that's twice as much as the game cost. But
yes,
they are very cool. I heard good things about it, as have we. We don't do roll and writes good. It's not a roll and write.
Oh, yeah. Sushi Roll.
It's a roll and place.
It's a dice drafting game.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait a minute. That bowling ball makes me think about Mystery Men.
And
it should.
Yes.
Except that's a skull, not a brain. But
close enough.
It's Janine Garofalo's best role.
Yep. There was a period when that came out, and I want to say Kingpin was around the same time, and that is when all of a sudden getting like a thing suspended in a bowling ball became a thing a person could afford.
Yeah.
Because when Bill Murray has the 3 roses in a bowling ball, that was a very expensive custom bowling ball that like 6 months after that movie came out, anyone could buy, and that is when I bought a boxing glove suspended in a bowling ball. I'd go to a wrestling match, and that's all the more I need to hear. Because it's a thing.
All right, I'm gonna do one more aside. Our first date was a W. Let's see, at that point, was it still WWF?
I don't remember. It was. It wasn't even a TV show. It was a house show.
Yeah, it was a non-taped show.
Yeah.
That is adorable.
Keeping it classy in the Family Gamers household.
Hey, you're not going to hear me knock it. I have many times on record showed up as a wrestling fan. Though I like the stupider stuff more than I do the actual wrestling, but we'll leave that be. We've already done a long bowling conversation. I don't know if we can make it go for a long wrestling conversation.
I think we got to wrestling.
All right, we got it. This is the thing. All the family gaming podcasts and Bruce,
this is coming together.
Absolutely.
It's really a shame because there was one like very family-friendly wrestling organization in Philadelphia. My whole goal, this was my dream, and I was trying to put it together, was to get like 3 game companies to sponsor them to bring the ring into PAX Unplugged.
That would be so
some of their stars were already there doing like the Smack Talk Showdown and the like other things around where they did like wrestling talking. Yeah. I was like, oh, if we could get them to bring a ring and do like a one-night show, that would be a thing. AEW is fun to watch. Chris notes, Cody Rhodes. If you didn't watch it, the Chris Jericho MJF do a
I watched some of that.
Number.
That duet was amazing.
Okay. Oh, so you're paying attention.
Although Chris Jericho is not a very good singer, but he makes up for it with showmanship.
And I didn't know, because Chris Jericho fronts a band, MJF can sing opera. I did not know that.
I didn't know, but once I saw that video, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Well worth checking out. All of you are welcome in our home.
Can we, hold on, is the home big enough? Can we set up the wrestling ring in your house?
Yeah.
If we could do that.
Was Macho Man there? You know what? So normally this would be a time for an impression. I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna resist that with everything in me.
So to give an accurate answer, it was in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And Triple H at the time was a big star, and he's from somewhere in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So he, like for the home crowd, because it was a house show, he had to win the things and all that, blah 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 blah. But, yeah.
It sounds awesome.
It was fun.
Very genuinely.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, no, I've been to quite a few wrestling shows, including a Royal Rumble, which sounds awesome until you do it. And then you realize how long you're in a seat at an arena. We were there for the first ever double Royal Rumble with a full men's Royal Rumble and then a full women's Royal Rumble, which was awesome, but was like a 7-hour
time.
Yeah. See, the stuff that I mean, wrestling for me was mostly just like a college dalliance thing. But the stuff that I really enjoyed was like, what was his name? Edge or something?
Yep.
Something like that. and the Hardy Boys. With, you know, all the crazy high flying, rope acting, crazy stuff. Like that was the stuff that I was there for because I would just watch them land and be like, oh, nope. And, you know.
I would love to just like at some point introduce you to the stupidity that has come up with cinematic matches. Because now they do matches where it's just like it's a cinematic spectacle and it's not in a ring, and some of them have just been amazing television.
I mean, I'm up for whatever. I mean, I'll try.
Then I will send you some things because one of the Hardys did some of the most amazing stupidity that's been done. There's the Lake of Reincarnation. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it. I'll send you some stuff.
I mean, I don't want to say that I survive on Schadenfreude, but. You know,
I think it's just a good old time.
Yeah.
Chris Funk noting his first date with his wife was a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show, which that is one of those things. There's a few like geek things you hit where they don't hit Bruce at all, and that is one of them.
Really?
I know. For some reason, the type of nerd, you may not know this to look at this guy now, but I used to be wound real tight. And when you take someone that's wound real tight, and you take them to a Rocky Horror Picture Show and they want to paint on you and like spray paint stuff on you, so you just resist with everything in your body.
Sure.
But I will say I've been since. I totally get it. That is an absolute spectacle. I know Jericho's a fun stage actor. Agreed. Backyard Trampoline. No, I'm not going to endorse that. But here's what I will say. I'm not going to endorse it, but if it were around me, I'd go watch it. We know a small comedy wrestling crew in Houston called Doomsday Wrestling. They are crazy funny. I want to say that maybe on the Independent Wrestling Channel, I've seen a little bit of their stuff. Which, you know, I love comedy wrestling. So there you go. Though I'll make room for people to sleep in the house. We call it charity comedy.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, cool. Shred Demons, a Legion of Doom. I didn't expect this to go this well. He was Shark Boy. I love the Shark Boy with Stone Cold Steve Austin. We can play at the nearby Fellowship Hall with plenty of tables. There you and probably room for a wrestling ring. Nice, Mick. This stage of Rocky Horror. Oh, that would go huge at PAX Unplugged.
It would. You know what? We can tell that everybody's sick of the debate at this point, by the way. Because then now they're all coming in. Welcome.
I have a confession to make. I know all the songs, but I've only ever seen the second half of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Fair. I can't imagine what you're doing in the first half, but okay.
I tuned into it on cable TV and saw the second half.
The movie is unwatchable. The actual movie, without people throwing toast at the screen, is unwatchable dreck. And I don't want to hear anything from anyone. If you don't have a shadow cast, it's not worth doing.
But I was a theater geek in high school.
Okay.
And
how were you a theater geek in high school and you never saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Hold on.
Wait. So let me continue. I was a theater geek in high school, which is why I know all of the songs.
Okay.
All of the songs.
Okay.
Sure.
But I was also a good Christian girl, and there was like one night a year that my parents let me stay out really late, which was
All Hallows Eve.
No, it was actually the cast party after our big musical production of the year. So I never would have gone to a midnight showing at that point.
It is the most dangerous night.
Yeah, that's the night it's like the Olympic compound the night at the end of a show. What are they doing? It's nothing but debauchery.
I particularly remember saying to some little freshman kid, like, who needs like underage drinking and alcohol and stuff when we can do all this crazy, shit for nothing.
You can do the time warp.
And then a week later found out that a bunch of the other kids had gone out and were doing Jello shots in the parking lot and got suspended. So apparently some of them couldn't do it without the alcohol.
Andrew, the key is not to acknowledge it. Don't just roll on. We were good that you acknowledged it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was legit shocked, but okay.
I was channeling high school me.
Okay. Yeah. It was a quote. It's a quote. It makes it all better.
Exactly. Starla really knows every song in Rocky Horror.
Also,
all right, Starla.
Starla is an incredible singer. I've seen her sing some incredible stuff. You want to sing right now?
Sure.
Okay. Well.
Oh, okay. I was actually. So the thing is, I'm just bringing stuff up as it comes up, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to put you on the spot like this." we had not discussed that. But if you want to knock some out, I'm not here to stop you.
You can't sing Rocky Horror. You have to sing rock horror.
Well, that I can't do.
Okay, go ahead.
But,
she's a great singer too. I'm sorry.
But if you give me, it's just a jump to the left.
It's just a jump to the left.
And then a step to the right. Put your hands on your hips.
Oh, I'm playing the part. Okay.
And bring your knees in tight. And it's a pelvic thrust. And it'll drive you insane. Let's do the time warp again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anitra. All right.
It's a little different singing it all by yourself.
It is a little weird.
It's okay. Yeah. I hear the music playing in my head. That's all I need.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Oh, we got a oh, that cat is not happy to be here.
He jumped up on the armrest, but apparently he didn't want to come all the way up here, so that's fine.
So we're about to jump.
He doesn't want to be on camera.
Because technically the show would be done normally. We're not worried about it. We're moving on.
You had to know this is going to happen.
Oh, no. I've learned long ago, and I love it because I'm getting guests that want to talk and want to have fun, and it makes the show like 90 minutes, and I love it. But it's the only reason I'm rushing to put this on.
Yes.
So at least we've technically started it now, and I feel less guilty.
Do that.
Okay.
That's all.
Don't worry, we're going to talk through all the questions too.
We are going to talk through all the questions. It's another 45 minutes of show ahead of you. But I wanted to make sure we at least started it at 10.
All right.
Shred Demon, all the shredding.
All of the shredding.
Once again, the Winterview goes off the rails and the water's unknown. That's what we do here. It is both an interview show and a game show, and you never know what's going to happen. But if you want in and you want a chance to win tonight's prize, the Similo game pack, for the fine folks at Luma Imports, go to crowd.live, put in the code XAPFN. XAPFN. That is how you get in. I'm gonna do this. Let me put it up on the camera again. Let's show everybody what's going on. Nature, show them the game again. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Show them what they're and one more. There are 3 of these.
Yes,
it is these 2 and
personally.
History. Is that the third one?
Nope. We have History and Fables.
This is History.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let me turn Marie Antoinette up right side up.
Oh, there's a couple of them, but
there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so the art is great on these. There's a little bit of factual information you can.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be able to read it on the camera.
Factual information to be evident on this show.
Right. But the artwork is great, and so what you do is you set a grid of these out, and then you use other cards, and depending on their orientation, you're giving clues as to which one of the grid of 12 or 16 or whatever it is the chosen one, and then everybody else is eliminating characters as you provide more clues, and eventually you get down to the last clue, and there's only 2 characters left, and if they guess right, then you've successfully won.
There's a pretty decent amount of variety.
Very cool.
This is not just Western, Europe and US history. It's not just modern. It's not just ancient. It's not just rulers and, super famous people.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool combination.
And there's absolutely nothing keeping you from mixing the sets up either.
That's true.
Which sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I want to thank the fine folks at Luma Imports for providing that. And I want to thank both of you for asking Luma Imports to provide that. So
that's all him, man.
Hey,
it's all him.
Hey, happy to.
So we're about to jump in. Things I need you to know out there, especially because I know I have some new players. Wherever you're watching this, first, thanks. Second, there's always going to be a lag. Sometimes it's so much worse than you realize it is. So from this point forward, pay attention to your phone. Don't worry about us. We're going to keep talking. We're chatty Cathys, you can tell by the first hour. But the phone is going to dictate how you get your points. The game, the faster you answer, the more points things are worth. So you super need to pay attention to that. I need to fix one thing before we start the game because I realize there is one thing I did not do. And I want to set the final question for 1,000 points.
Ooh,
1,000 points.
All right.
So here's what's going to happen is you're going to get an option of 2 possible things. If you've seen the show before, you know how it works. If not, I'll explain it to you. It's going to be a silly 50-50. You guess what you think the family gamers answered. If you're right, you're going to get the points. If you're wrong, nothing bad happens. You just don't score any points. At the end of 10 questions, the most points is going to win tonight's grand prize. We are about to begin the game. Once again, I cannot stress this enough. Stare at your phones. Normally, gamers don't say that. I'm going to say it to you because the phone does everything at this point. We're about to begin the countdown. I remind everyone every week, there is no 9 in the countdown. Don't let that surprise you. Here we go, Control Center. Yeah, start the countdown. 10,
right.
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the game begins.
What?
Bar or coffee shop? Bar or coffee shop?
I suppose I should add at this point that we did agree on these answers. So,
yes.
In all fairness,
as we say every week, or as I say every week, because this is the week you're here. I provide you with 20 questions. You pick the ones you wanted to talk about. There were 10 that you agreed on and wanted to talk about, and then there were 3 where apparently it was like a little bit of a fight. We'll pepper some of those in, but they won't be for points for all of you.
Yes.
Right.
So bar or coffee shop? Let's see how everybody's answered. 86-14 for coffee shop. What's your answer and why?
Coffee shop.
Ooh, that was good.
That was nice.
We've had some practice.
So answer number 1, we have children. Bars, the bar scene is not really a scene that I don't know that it was a scene that we were like ever really super in anyway.
Never.
But there, when we had one and she was little, there was a bar in town that had 10-cent taco night.
Okay.
And we would bring her.
We would bring our little infant in the car seat.
Yes, and we would set her on the bar. And all the the bartenders would coo and ogle over her and stuff like that. But I mean, other than 10-cent tacos, like I'm just too cheap to pay for a draft beer. Really, is what it comes down to. And because I'm a remote worker, I've been a remote worker for 5 years. I'm 100% pro coffee shop.
Fair.
You go to a coffee shop. I even bought a portable monitor that I can plug into my monitor with one cable, so I can have 2 screens in a coffee shop. The worst thing about this pandemic has been that I can't go to coffee shops. For me, like obviously there are much worse things going on. Please,
okay. We are not saying this is the worst thing.
No,
we're talking about things that are mildly uncomfortable, or maybe more so.
Yeah.
This is an okay space here on the WINterview to do that. Please do not think for a second that the WINterview or anyone involved does not see that there are far worse problems.
Yes.
I did not mean to imply in any way.
No,
all I'm saying is.
But I think we covered it with that 2 full minutes.
Okay.
I hope.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Coffee shop for me.
So I'm not sure I like coffee shops for exactly the same reason as Andrew, but there is that feeling of being able to be alone while surrounded by humanity in a coffee shop that I really enjoy. It's always been something for me that if I get a break from my children and I need somewhere to go, a coffee shop is a nice place for that. I can sit down and I enjoy coffee and pastries, because who doesn't? And I sit there and read a book and have a snack and just kind of be like, I'm not alone in the world.
Indeed. Indeed. So with the first question in, Peep Dish leading with 95. Chris F, 1 point off at 94. X04 at 93. There's only one prize. You are in a big fight right now. Chris at 91, Nick at 83, Josh at 78, and you not getting that one right. As we move on to question number 2, here we go. Is a Pop-Tart ravioli? Is it, yeah, I think so, or, oh goodness, no? I probably should have said that louder. It's in cafe and has an exclamation point.
I was like, oh man, I got to think about this.
Yeah. So let's take a look and see how everybody voted. 38-63. It's as close to 50-50 as we can get. What is your answer and why?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think they are.
It's like a sweet ravioli.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about, but yeah.
It is kind of an odd thing, but yeah, I got to go with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's something, there's pastry. The pastry is sealed on all sides.
Right. There's a filling.
I'm
sure. And you want to do something to prepare it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either freeze it or you put it in the toaster or whatever the thing. I'm sure T has some alternate name for them, but we're not her. We're not them. So, I will use this opportunity to to mention that at some point very soon we do this thing on our show called For Science, where I eat something stupid for science.
Nice.
I mentioned earlier the ghost pepper donut. I have eaten crickets with you on the show. I've had all sorts of weird stuff. One of the things that we have in for review right now is the Pop-Tarts game from Funko Games.
Nice.
And so what we have done, Anitra did the pounding of the pavement. She has acquired all of the Pop-Tarts from the game.
All 5 flavors.
All 5 flavors. I am going to eat all of them, both frozen and toasted, and grade them all. And that's going to be coming in the next probably in the next month or so on FamilyGamers.com. So check that out. And I will be eating a lot of ravioli.
Is it easier to eat them if you think of them as ravioli? I don't know.
So now some things. First of all, let me just bring the board up so everybody knows where we are. Peep Dish leading with $1.82, Chris at 159, Josh at 157. As a note, folks, first 3 questions are 100 points. Next 3 questions are 200 points. Next 2 questions are 300, then 4, 5, and 1,000. So there's a lot of points in the game, even if you're not doing well right now. But what I didn't expect was a lot of anger from the chat. Pasta isn't pastry. It's a pastry, man. No, it's a ravioli.
Okay, first of all, 4 of the 5 letters are the same. Like,
yeah.
What do you want from me? Do the 1-chip challenge? 100%, Chris. I'm there, baby.
I have thought of doing it for Extra Life if I get to a certain amount to eat that chip. I have one too in the coffin.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
It's gonna be the worst thing ever. But for the kids.
Absolutely. I mean, for the laughs, also the kids. Like, it's fine. Yeah. My threshold is lower than yours, but I'm still going to do it for the kids.
And I'm not a spice guy. I don't I use hot sauce, but I'm not one of those give me the bomb.
Me neither.
I never want to buy wings that require that I sign an affidavit.
No, I'm not actually into super spicy. I like spice with flavor.
What for?
I don't know.
I'm not doing. No.
I didn't think you got signed up at all for this.
Mick's gonna do it.
Oh, Mick.
Nice.
All right.
Sure. Why not?
Welcome.
I'll just tell him to do it. It's fine.
We'll set that up. I'm gonna move on to question number 3.
All right.
Italian food or Indian food? Italian food or Indian food?
So without giving anything away, this one might be the one that both of us answered the same, the fastest.
The fastest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a discussion about this, which is why I specifically put that in there. I think it was before you were recording your show.
I think so.
Possibly.
Yeah, where we talked about the amazing run of if you're anywhere and you run into this particular type of restaurant. Let me first put up the decisions.
All right.
Which should be up right now. According to my panel, they should be up. There we go.
All right, there we go.
Italian leading 63-38. If you can find, and it's a rare hybrid, where you find an Italian Indian restaurant, normally what they do is, these restaurants that I've seen, is it's almost an entire kind of garbage pizza Italian menu, and then there's 3 Indian dishes, and then there's this weird mix of chicken tikka pizza, and that is the sweet spot where you get into chicken tikka pizza.
Yes.
So our answer on this is in fact
Indian food.
Always Indian. We found a place in town that does the chicken tikka pizza. We have eaten it so much that our kids are like, man, really? We're going there again.
Yes, we are. You're going to learn today.
Oh,
when you leave here and you can't get chicken tikka pizza, you will understand the beauty of what we presented you.
No, it's fine. None of them want to eat the chicken tikka pizza, so we get them some standard American fare pizza like Meat Lovers or something, and we're like, that's more chicken tikka pizza for us.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Chris apparently will never win this game. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. The majority of people got it wrong. Let's take a look. Chris leading the game with 250, 182, Nick at 173, and then just a group of folks after that. Well, I'll do a full reading on a future question, but not this one.
All right.
But remember, a lot of points in the rest of the game, 1,000 points in the final question. You're never out of it. We've got more. There's more stuff coming in. Some more opinions and comments. There's some hot takes. We'll get to them in a second.
Ooh, I like hot takes.
I like hot takes.
Raincoat or umbrella? Raincoat or umbrella? So let's take a look at what everybody has to say. We had an Indian pizza place.
Yes.
It is a very specific phenomena that when you find it is amazing.
And you never
just
let
explain
it go.
ravioli. Pop-Tart ravioli, Chris. I don't know what to tell you. Last week, we've had to do this a couple of times. You do not eat macaroni and cheese with a spoon. Ravioli is a Pop-Tart.
I mean, I would eat macaroni and cheese with whatever instrument you gave me to eat it.
That is, I would eat it with chopsticks if that's all I was given.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You could do the rice approach. You know.
Oh, definitely.
Whatever it takes.
Or just individually grab each piece of macaroni. That could just be fun to do.
I would eat macaroni and cheese with a knife. I would do it.
It seems real tough. You just have to use it as like a scoop.
Yeah.
There we go. Mixed knows what we're talking about.
Indian pizza. Yeah. So I have to, shout out to our Indian pizza place. They also do Greek food and apparently have the best falafel and baba ganoush in the city.
Wow.
By the way, this place is appropriately named Fantastic Pizza.
Fantastic.
Oh. That was a bold name to pick, and apparently they can live up to it. Raincoat Umbrella at a solid 50-50. So what is it and why?
It's umbrella.
Umbrella.
It's umbrella for a couple different reasons. You can discard an umbrella a lot more easily than you can discard a raincoat. And I'm not saying like littering. I'm saying when you enter a place, you just kind of put the umbrella down. Right. But really the big one for me, have you seen those umbrellas, by the way, that flip up instead of pull down?
Yes.
Okay. Those are amazing. And when you're getting into a car, like, you don't want to be wearing a raincoat and then get into your car and then get the car all wet.
No.
Why would you do that? That's bad news.
All right. My reasoning is different than yours.
Oh, this is interesting.
Because I do often wear a raincoat as well.
Okay.
See, children.
Yeah. You're on the front of the Morton salt box, apparently.
But I have, since I was, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14, always had really brightly colored umbrellas.
Yep.
Which are nice for visibility for other people to see me, but also it means it's raining and it's gray and it's awful. And I put up my umbrella and all of a sudden it feels like sunny and nice. I usually get a yellow one. And it makes me cheer up that even though it's raining, it's not that bad.
Totally agreed. A piece of advice whenever on social media, you're on social media, every so often somebody says, give me a piece of advice, anything, just give me advice. My piece of advice always is own an umbrella such as that you are happy when it rains.
Yes.
I have a rainbow umbrella. I've seen one. I've almost bought it. I want to say the Museum of Modern Art sells it, where the outside is a plain black umbrella, but when you open it, the inside are blue cloud, like fluffy clouds in a blue sky.
Oh, cool. I like that.
I've seen that one.
Yep. So Chris,
actually, they make a model of it in that one that Andrew's talking about, where it opens up backwards.
Oh. Hey, you've seen that in that umbrella?
Yes.
Oh. That is wizardry.
We'll send you a link. We'll figure it out and get you a link.
Chris leading with 436, Pete Dish at 337, Steph at 265, Nick at 173, Chris F 159, Josh at 157, 2-point gap there, 5th place. No prize for 5th place, so it doesn't really matter, but I want to keep the excitement going. XO4 at 93. I don't know if you're just on a bad run or if you're not playing anymore. Either way, a lot of points still available to you. As we move on to question number 5, it's a 200-point question. Stonehenge or Easter Island? Stonehenge or Easter Island?
Would you like to spend Easter on Easter Island?
You unlocked the singing Anitra, Bruce.
I didn't even see it click up on the screen, which is great. Let's take a look. 75-25 for Stonehenge. Clearly, they did not ring in before they heard the Easter Island ditty. What is your answer and why?
The answer is actually Stonehenge.
It's Stonehenge.
I just like that song. Ella Fitzgerald does a great job.
The why is, I don't know, ancient druid stuff is just cooler to me. That's
fair.
That's it
also, like, the British Isles hold a certain appeal, and honestly, the Easter Island heads kind of freak me out a little bit.
Oh, I like the Moai myself. No. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool. I'd love to go see them, but
I wouldn't refuse to go see them.
Yeah, like I think if I were planning a vacation, if I recall correctly, it's much easier to go see Stonehenge than it is to go see the Easter Island heads.
Although you can't
very right. I don't know if it is, but when I hear it, it sounds right to me.
I also saw something relatively recently that said that like it's not just the heads; it's like their entire upper torso. They're just buried.
Wow.
But I don't know. That might have been
I've heard that too. It could have been
the
satire.
Onion or something. I don't know. Satire. That's the word.
I know there's a statue in DC that's called like the Struggle of Man, where it is an actual full statue of a guy like reaching up to the skies, but because he weighs 9 tons, he has sunk through the earth. So now it really is just a hand reaching out from the ground.
Oh, no.
So wow. I don't know whether that is the same principle or whether like people have mixed up those statues over the years. You never can be sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I'm kind of amazed they haven't excavated that guy out.
They have excavated him multiple times because eventually he will pop through into the Potomac. So you have to pull him out every so often to make sure he doesn't sink into the Potomac.
Right.
Christopher Onstead here. Let's take a quick note of this. The questions have confused me. I need to go back to my old tactic of top or bottom before the question pops up so I can get speed. I don't know what to tell you. But I get it. Top or bottom, they're opinion questions.
Yeah, it's an approach.
Yeah. I can't entirely knock it. Let's see how the scores look. Chris leading with 605, Peep Dish at 510, Steph at 431. So a lot of fighting there. A lot of trading paint as we head into the second turn. There you go. Wrestling, bowling, and NASCAR. We hit them all. As we move on to question number 6.
He's a professional, folks.
Kazoos, y'all. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Andrew?
I said you're a professional.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're doing here. We're not messing. You can't just buy these off of Amazon, these gold curtains. You got to be issued these. Green screens, though, they'll give to anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Bagpipes.
You can't just go anywhere and get a shirt with your logo on it.
No, you can't. I wish I had worn my logo so I could prove to everybody that's the truth. Let's take a look. 3863 leaning on kazoos. Kazoos are bagpipes. Which and why?
So kazoos are super fun,
aren't they?
They're fun to jump around and play around with. But I'm Irish.
I'm team bagpipe over here.
We're team bagpipe. Yeah.
We honestly we unapologetically love Celtic rock.
Wow.
So really well played bagpipes and fiddles with backing of drums and guitar and bass is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So Enter the Haggis is probably our favorite modern Celtic rock band. The Pogues would be an excellent older kind of Celtic punk kind of band, and there's been a few in the middle. Whiskey Before Breakfast would be a good option. Obviously, for more mainstream stuff, you could go to like a Dropkick Murphys or something like that. But that's definitely a genre we like.
Yeah, Bruce, another recommendation for you. If you don't hate Celtic rock,
I sit in the middle because it's pretty much just country music with a bagpipe.
Yeah, so like I said, if you don't
it's just fiddles and drums and stuff.
Enter the Haggis. Enter the Haggis, which already has a funny name.
Yeah.
Did a song probably a decade plus ago now that's called The Mexican Scotsman.
There's a lot to unpack.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the song is a narrative story, so you should you should check it out. The Mexican Scotsman. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube.
So it's like the devil went down to Georgia, but with bagpipes.
Very much. Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
and he wears a kilt and he eats haggis with nachos.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. So the answer to Christopher, are your kids going to run around the house playing bagpipes?
No.
No, but if they wanted a practice chanter, I would not mind.
We love Dropkick in this house.
That's right. Just throwing down some names.
We're kind of required to like Dropkick, even if we didn't like Celtic rock because
we live in Massachusetts.
and we're Red Sox fans.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah, we actually are not allowed to. Flog Molly is another good example. Yes, good job, Chris. We're actually not allowed to. I mentioned the I don't know, the something ninjas before, but the Dropkick Murphy ninjas will drop out of the ceiling. And,
we were worried about the proper bowling ninjas.
Right.
Earlier.
The PBA
ninjas will drop down and make sure you don't cheer. Let's look at the board. Peep Dish leading with 695. Chris was 605.
This is
which is closer than you think it is because we're about to head into 300 point questions.
Wow.
Nick at 531. Steph at 431. Back in the game. Welcome.
Coming up the board. All right.
Nick, you're pulling up.
Yeah. Good job. That is what you're doing. You're pulling up, Nick. Chris F with 197, Josh with 157, XO4. I hope this top-bottom thing works out for you. I really, really do, Christopher. I want it to start. I want to see you get in the game. So many more points are out here, Christopher.
All the points.
All the points. We're now heading to our 300-point question. Question number 7. Swings or slides? Swings or slides? Which is it? Who knows?
You're not allowed to answer both.
Yeah.
No.
You can't.
Gotta pick one.
But you maybe that's how your heart feels, but you got to have a preference.
We actually have both at our house.
Nice.
One of those play sets that has a slide on it and some swings.
Yeah, it was like the 3rd week of the pandemic that I was like, I need something to make my children go outside.
Get them out of the house, buy something.
You also have the giant Merrimack cheese that you can climb up into.
No, we live in Massachusetts. We can't afford property that large.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's take a look. 63-38 leading swings over slides. Additionally, Mick, with all the energy, not only that you come with, but that you can possibly come with in chat, swings
or
slides.
All right. Well, Mick is right. It is.
Yeah.
It is swings.
Yeah.
Nice.
I come at this from a bunch of angles. My kids all seem to prefer swings. Like the swing set was the important part. A slide was kind of like, okay, cool, that's fine. But also there's something about like that feeling of flying up in the air,
launching yourself off, at the end.
Also, even though I can't swing anymore because I get motion sick now.
Also, we can sit on the swings next to each other and hold hands. Which we've done with our own swing sets, which are very much undersized for us and our giant adult butts.
And our kids are like, "Get out! It's our turn."
But also, in all seriousness, like with slides, you have to climb the stairs and experience the slide for a short period of time. And then you got to go around. You got to climb the stairs again, and you've got this stop-start thing. With swings,
it's exercise.
You just keep going. You're just on the swings. You're just back and forth. You just you can keep playing. This kind of you're going with the flow. It's smoother.
The swings are a lot more versatile too. You can do a lot more with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to leave that there hanging for a second. Let's look at some comments. You know, it's like the umbrella thing. The conversation's so great, I'm losing with a smile. That's good. And then Shred Demon, I have to imagine this is said like this. Woo! That's how I have to imagine, because that's the only way I see it.
I don't know.
So it's like a Ric Flair woo, or it's like a devil horn woo?
That many O's. Can it be anything but a Ric Flair woo?
I suppose.
That's fair enough.
Like I don't think it's just because we talked about wrestling. That many O's on a woo. It's not woo. Now that many E's on a W is definitely wee. But that many O's has to be Ric Flair, right?
Well, so we technically live in the town of Auburn, which is a suburb of Worcester, Massachusetts, which of course is known as
the Woo.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Oh my goodness.
And our soon-to-be minor league baseball team is going to be called the Woo Sox.
Yeah, the Paw Sox will become the Woo Sox.
Are the Paw Sox still? Are they're Woodbat
now? They're Woodbat because they're the AAA affiliate for the Red Sox.
Oh no! So then they're an actual affiliated team.
You mean
over to that like we don't pay college kids ball?
Yeah.
I don't remember if the Paw Sox were on that bubble or not.
No, they're AAA affiliate. And Pawtucket, Rhode Island lost them, and they're coming to Worcester.
Oh, okay. Yep. Ric Flair style, baby. That's what I thought.
All right.
Got a jet, Daddy Duty, and Spider Killing. I understand. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out. I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night, Chris.
He's in second place, and he's got to go. Ooh.
No. This is looking good for you, Nick. Peep Dish leading with 974, 880 for Chris. Nick at 807, and then the rest of the field moving their way up.
Yeah.
Getting in striking position. As we move on to a 400-point question. Here we go.
All right.
Charlie Brown or Lucy? Charlie Brown or Lucy?
This is laugh at my response to this one.
To me, I don't even think this is really a question, but there are books and games that I take this stuff from, and this was one of them. And I said, I'll present it. We're getting near Halloween. This is an appropriate time to talk about Charlie Brown or Lucy.
Sure.
This is pretty close.
That is very close.
That's a lot closer than I expected.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Right. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, I'm not going to use the language that I use privately, but
all right.
The answer is Charlie Brown because Lucy is a jerk.
Yeah, Lucy, I'll say it. Lucy is a bitch.
Lucy's a jerk.
And you might say, Bruce, you shouldn't use that. I think for Lucy Van Pelt, we're allowed to use that kind of language. There are a lot of people that I will use that language for. It's not a word. In the 90s, it was a word maybe I bandied about, but that was the times. Now I don't use it very much unless we're talking about Lucy Van Pelt.
I mean, you know what? I mean, and there are some people who are listening to this chat who will get a good laugh out of this. I am very much a curmudgeon, but inside my curmudgeon shell, there's a little heart that just wants good for people.
You want Charlie Brown to be able to kick that football.
Yes! Kick the stupid football.
So, like, a curmudgeon is one thing. Just being a jerk,
is
a little different.
Right.
Totally agreed.
I mean, you tell the kids to get off your lawn, but you don't mind if they go play somewhere else.
Get off my lawn so I can kick a football. Like, it's not that complicated.
Or something like that, yeah.
Or get off a lawn, let that kid kick a football.
Yeah.
Just not on the lawn.
Right. Exactly.
Peep Dish leading with 1307.
Wow.
Nick jumping up at 1174. You did it at 984. Chris at 880, and that's where Chris is going to stay. Josh at 474. Chris F at 462. Steph at 431. XO4 at 93. Also, he just keeps noting, because it is Christopher Onstead, I got to stop picking before I see the option. That'll get you. That'll just putting your hand on like a part of the screen. It seems like what the cool kids are doing, but they're not.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
We're moving up to the 500-point question. Here we go.
Points. Wow.
All right, 500 points.
Reese's or M&M's? We just went through the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
And it's a tough question.
It is a tough one. This is Reese's Pieces or M&M's. There is a discussion to be had here.
Yes, there is.
You don't even know.
So let's see
there
here.
Are several discussions. How long we got?
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot going on. It's 57-43. The room picks Reese's Pieces. And I want to call them Reese's Pieces so bad. That's been drilled into my head. And I've had to actively, as an adult and a professional announcer, try to work it out.
Sure.
Because I want to say at one point in one of the baseball stadiums, I had a Reese's Pieces read and had to over-enunciate every time. So tell me, what's the answer and why?
So do you want to bury the lead and have the conversation first, or do you want to answer the question and then go into the conversation?
Let's answer the question and then go into it.
Okay, so I want to point out that we have a child named Elliot.
With a stuffed ET.
Oh. Well, this was the information the crowd needed.
The answer is, in fact, Reese's Pieces.
I will also point out that our family goes through 2 1-pound jars of peanut butter in a normal week.
Gadzooks.
Lots of peanut butter.
We go through so much peanut butter that it is actually cost effective for Anitra to make our peanut butter.
Wow. That's bold because that's artisanal work there.
It's you pour a bunch of stuff in a food processor, you turn it on, you walk away.
Yeah, well, as I learned this week, you walk away, but not for too long, because then what you have is peanut butter sauce instead of peanut butter that can actually be spread.
You add yourself a little bit of sesame oil to that and throw some noodles in, and you got good eating.
I mean,
or you pour it on ice cream. Another good option.
And top with.
I can see that. I can see that.
So anyway, there's a lot of the reason why this is a complicated question is because like the peanut butter M&Ms are really, really good.
So good.
They might be. I think I still like the Reese's Pieces flavor better, but there's something about the peanut butter M&Ms that like I need to get them away from me. Yeah.
Let's see how the room looks. Peep Dish leading with 1748. Wow. That is, you've closed some of the folks out of the game at this point. Nick 1174, you did at 984, 919 on Chris. Final question is worth 1,000 points.
So actually, even Chris, both Chris's are still in the game.
Yeah, it could be anyone's game. One thing I want to know: Mick noting M&M's wrong. And our baseball team is the Omaha Mavericks. Are they no longer the Omaha Storm Chasers, Mick? Because I know they were the Storm Chasers, but I don't know if there's multiple teams there. Shred Demon, Reese's Pieces are where it's at. ET Phone Home.
But you know what, Bruce? You still said Anitra correctly every time. So,
and you know what? I care far more about that. And although I will get drug far more for Reese's Pieces, but am I saying there's no hope? Chris, I'm never going to say there's no hope. And literally, even for you, oh no, you have 565. So mathematically for you, you're out of this game. But please don't take that as there's no hope. You're just not going to win Similo. And good news, it's not the most expensive game. Check it out on Amazon right now. You can get one of them for like $7 shipped.
Yep. You can get the other ones for like 10.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get for like $27. You got a really good game. So no, hope is certainly not lost. Chris is back. The spider has been slain. Chris, it's a 1,000-point question. You are still in the game.
Can you imagine if he swings in at the end and takes it? Wow.
I can't even imagine. I wish you the best of luck, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Here's your question.
All right.
An evil doll that has feet instead of hands, or a mad scientist swinging a shark on a chain? There you go. That's what you get. They took one of the absurdist ones. I brought it back. Ha, 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 ha.
I love that you saved it for last.
Oh, I always do. And then there were a couple weeks where I had guests that just didn't take it. And like one guest was even like, I can't wrap my head around what you're even asking me. And I said, well, maybe they're unreasonable questions. And I took them away for a while. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Christopher On said does not want to know the Storm Chasers too. Okay, cool. A nail-biting finish. No one knows how this is going to go. Here's the first thing we need to do. Let's take a look and see how the room voted.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh. There is a possibility that we are making one player's day because this is the 1,000-point question. This is where it all sits. And before we talk about it, I'm going to pull out to here real fast. Let everybody know where they can find you, all the great places, all the things they should do if they want to check out the Family Game.
So we make it really easy. There's a lot of people that have different tags for different things. We are at Family Gamers AA for Andrew and Anitra everywhere. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us. We have a Family Gamers community on Facebook. So you can go to thefamilygamers.com for our website. And you can go to thefamilygamers.com/community. It brings you right into the Facebook community. So we try to make it as easy as possible. Head over to Apple Podcast or TuneIn or Stitcher or Spotify. You can talk to your smart speaker and just say, play the Family Gamers podcast. And we pop right up in Siri's voice or Alexa's voice or whatever. They'll say, go, we're playing the Family Gamers podcast.
Since this is not our outro of our podcast we do every time, I am going to point something out, which is it is thefamilygamers.com. If you just go to familygamers.com, that's not us.
That's true.
Okay.
The Family Gamers.
The Family Gamers.
We have all sorts of really great stuff. Very soon we'll be releasing, probably within about a month, our holiday gift guide, which is something that we do every year. And we break it apart by age range. So we'll have like games for, kids under 6, games for, 6 to 12, elementary school, something like that. Games for the next fit. And then we've got 2-player games and then a couple party games if we ever have parties again.
Yeah.
So, we do have that. And that I think has been really helpful for a lot of people. We have a blast. You can subscribe to the show. We're releasing episode 217.
Wow.
So, yeah. We
had
have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make a quick note. Next week, there is no episode. I'm doing a private event. If you want to book a private event with me, find me in all the ways where I'm around at BG the Game Show, and I can certainly work that out for you. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. Watch social media, and you'll see all of the information. This weekend, this Saturday, the Party Gamecast will continue to do Jackbox. There's Jackbox Party Pack 7. We will, in fact, be doing the Pajama Party from 8 to 11 p.m. East, if that's a thing that you're interested in. And coming up is Extra Life, where we're going to be doing our 24-hour game-a-thon. Check that out in all the places where you can find us, Party Gamecast and BG the Game Show. Also, if you win tonight, contact me at BG the Game Show if you are the winner, and we'll get all the information and get those prizes out to you. So here we go. We want to take care of that. Also, thank you, all of you that took the time to watch. So, we're at the final question. It all hinges on this. An evil doll that has feet instead of hands, or a mad scientist swinging a shark on a chain. What is the answer to the final question of the night?
It is a mad scientist swinging a shark on a chain.
Oh, everybody's in the game here.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume Christopher Onstad guessed an evil doll because that's just the kind of night you've had. So what is your reasoning as we set up to show everybody the game?
First of all, we both have computer science degrees.
Okay.
So we are soft on scientists.
Okay.
Also, I feel like with a mad scientist, you can catch them monologuing.
Yeah. But does that not help the evil doll?
I mean, I guess it really depends. Like, is it someone you want to hang out with, or is it someone that you want to get away from? And like, so there's so many different approaches to this.
I definitely read it as someone, like, if I had to fight one, who would I rather fight? And the answer is a mad scientist swinging a shark on a chain, because I will get them monologuing and then I won't have to fight them anymore.
And meanwhile, I'm just kind of thinking of, like, it would be kind of adorable to see a mad scientist driving in a car with a keychain that has a shark on it.
And this is why specifically I do not frame this question. Here we go. Here are the scores at the end of the game. Someone's taking on that Similo prize bag. Thanks to Luna Imports. Here we go. With 1,938 points, Nick is our winner.
Wow. How did this happen?
Peep Dish at 1,748. Steph at 1,683. At 1,655 points off. Chris is running XO4, 1,459. Not a bad showing. Only a few hundred points off. Lead Josh with 1,255. Once again, Nick, you are our winner. Congratulations.
Wow.
And a big congrats, Nick.
I think that means Peep Dish answered the evil doll. I'm sorry, Peep Dish.
Oh,
it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Wow.
See, I told you.
Wow.
So there you go. Once again, everybody that came out tonight, thank you so much. We will be back in 2 weeks. Once again, next week, private function, so I won't be doing the Thursday night game. Check out all the things, all the places, BG the Game Show. Tell just every person you've ever met about it. And tell everybody about the Family Gamers. If they have a family, they want to check out some games. Gosh darn it. There's a gift guide coming. How in the hell will you know what to buy if you don't have a gift guide?
Right? I think this year, by the way, I think we're going to add a section for solo games.
Yes.
And I absolutely, and I think you should.
Yeah.
I think that's super important right now. Congratulations, Nick. Tough competition. Great job, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for coming out. Stay as happy as you can. Stay safe. Stay sane. Stay clean. Wash your hands between now and the next time I see. If you can, try to play something, okay? Yeah. Have a great night.
Bye.